We are at the beginning of a truly intense, real, crazy, magical, painful, massive, enormous conscious shift. We're not able to turn back from this. Everything in the world that is not the truth will be removed. Stories that you think you are based on trauma will be removed. Governments that are controlling people will be removed. A financial system that completely prints its own money over and over and over again till it's just a bunch of IOUs that mean nothing will be removed. Control will be removed. Manipulation will be removed. You have to understand this is the beginning of this, and it will move exponentially faster and faster. You're going to lose your trauma patterns. You're going to lose addictions. You're going to lose things that aren't you. If you fight to be what you used to be, meaning the story of a victim, the story of an achiever, the accomplishments that you've made in the past, if you fight to be anything other than the now, you're going to really struggle, because that's not the truth of what you are. You are an infinite, ongoing, magical, all that is being. And so if you're fighting to be, look, I'm the 10 Porsches in my garage, or I'm the victim of that story from a long time ago, or I am how much money I have or how much money I don't have, or I am just this relationship, or I am someone who will never figure out how to whatever, those will all be removed. They will all be removed. You can feel that there's an infinite amount of unlimited love that's doing everything it can to do its work right now. And anything that you hold on to that's not the allowing of that is in the way of its process, right? So you can stay a small story, you can stay a separate self, you can stay in these things, but life is going to get harder and harder and harder. It's going to be like holding a beach ball underwater, but the air keeps expanding in the ball, and it's going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. So the allowing process will cause the beach ball to go up to the top of the surface, and that's fine, right? And imagine that the water level's rising too, and imagine a conscious water level's rising. So imagine right now that there's a reason that things feel like they're falling apart internally and externally. Like you might notice that you thought you were a certain story, like that you thought you were a specific identity that now you're starting to maybe see break off a little bit and is more like some type of inner child or some trauma energy that actually isn't you. And then you start to go, so what am I then? I must be the one that's observing it. I must be the one that's sitting here and looking at it, right? So then you start to realize the only thing you are is the observer. And everything that you're not will have to come to light. It will become too heavy to be identified as a separate self story. It will be impossible. Now, obviously, for some people, if you're doing this work, if you're watching videos like this, if you're aware and awake, this process will be less painful. In fact, it'll feel really good, because some people are at a very high open-hearted frequency, and now what's going to happen is the world is going to catch up to those people, right? And there are people that have no idea this is going to happen on the planet. There are people that are completely in a belief that they are some accomplishment from the past, some trauma story, a relationship, their money situation. And they are going to be so blindsided by this, because all of reality around them is going to not be what they thought it was. So this is a really big mind fuck for a lot of people, right? Because they're going to go, wait, I thought reality was this. I thought reality was I am this bank account, but that's going to change, right? I thought reality was I'm this job, but that's going to change. I thought the news was giving me information that I need for my day, but you're gonna go, wait, then what is the truth of what I am? And for some people that were not voluntarily asking, this is going to be insane. There's going to be so much stuff going on, and they're going to just fight to stay alive, and they're not going to be in that letting go even more. So they're going to do more addictive things and more crazy things that will keep the numbing of the false self there, which means they won't observe it. It won't change. Nothing will change because they'll be bearing it, but it'll just get harder and harder and crazier and crazier. So they will either go down with that addiction, or they will finally see the reality of what they are, and the trauma patterns and everything else will be seen and then come up, and they will have the biggest cry out of their life and then start to move much more into the pattern of where the collective is going, right? So see it as like everyone's got this bowling ball of a lie in their body. Some people are wide open to healing it. Some people are back and forth between healing it and then like keeping it in by keeping the same storyline going. And some people think they are the bowling ball. So they're going to completely protect it. They're going to do everything they can to not let it be seen or taken away, because they think that's them. And if it's taken away, they die. So know that we are now in the process of a huge conscious shift where you will not make it if you keep holding on to an old story. It is much more of a matter of listening. It's much more a matter of releasing addictive patterns that are in the way of you hearing the truth of what you are. As you do that, you'll also be able to handle much more the external falling apart. When reality doesn't make sense, you'll start to realize that that's the match to what's going on inside. Like, that makes sense, that the things that I was secure in myself are falling apart. So the things I was secure in the external are falling apart. But what you actually are is free, is heaven, is magical, is awesome, right? So if you participate with the universe, if you participate with the collective, you will be in total joy and total freedom. You'll feel things and you'll feel through things and transcend them, but you'll just get continually lighter and lighter and lighter. If you fight to stay an old accomplishment, an old pattern, whatever, it's going to get heavier and heavier and heavier and darker for you, right? So this is the beginning of you being forced to find out what you truly are and what the world is. And the only reason it's scary is you've been conditioned to believe that you're something different. And all this is doing is undoing the false conditioning so that it can reveal what you truly are. So open your heart. Spend less time doing addictive things and more time listening, meditating, going on walks, being with nature. Open your heart to things that help you release this, right? Listen to things that are high frequency. David Hawkins' books are incredible, or read them. Find things that are about this, that are open-hearted energy. And not only will you be fine, but you'll be freer than you've ever been in your life. Get ready. We don't have a choice. We're going to change, but we do have a choice if we participate with it, or it forces us to change against our ego's will. New life.